Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry, I really suck at intros, I know, but like when it's towards the end, I usually don't, or like I forget to do an intro, and like by the time I'm done with the video, like it's very chaotic at the end because of my dogs and stuff. But anyway, y'all didn't even ask for that, but before we get into this video, or before I start explaining like what's going on in the video, make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you guys like the video, comment down below whatever y'all like, maybe any suggestions that you guys want me to do, whatever y'all feel like. But anyway, jumping into the video, we actually went in with our primer, which is the Becca Ever Matte Poreless primer, which is my favorite, my ride or die. And then we also went in with our new Poreblem by Touch and Soul, I believe. I think. I always mess that up, but I will link it down below if you guys are interested in the primers or just everything actually. I will list all the products down below. And of course, we're going in with our Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation in the shade Medium 55 Neutral. So I actually got a new shade. I know like a couple videos I was like a 60, I think 64 neutral. But that was of course like my darker foundation, and I was just using it for the time being just because I don't know, I just didn't feel like getting a new one until recently. So yeah, we're at 55 neutral now because she is not as tan as she used to be. Um, and I know there's like this LA, like these pigment things that LA Girl has created. Like, you know, there's like an orange, a yellow, and like a blue, and it's just basically to either like tone down or tone up your foundation just so it's like the right match for your skin. I honestly probably would have tried it out before I actually got this foundation, but you know what, it's fine. Like next time I will, or maybe I'll try it out and test it and see if it's actually true. But in the meantime, we're just going to be using our regular shade foundation. And I did apply that with a Luxie flat foundation brush. And I typically like to apply my foundation with a brush before I actually go in with our beauty blender. And the beauty blender I'm using today is going to be our E.L.F sponge. And it came in like a trio pack. This is the white color one. I know they sell like different color trio packs, but this one is just the white one. Anyway, yes. So we're just using our sponge to blend everything out, of course. And I did spray my face with some the NYX matte setting spray. I typically always use setting spray before I actually go in and blend my foundation. And if you don't see me do it, just know that I have already done it because it's just what I always have to do. It just makes my foundation last a lot longer, and it makes it easier to blend out as well. Also, before I forget, a little disclaimer, I do know the lighting is off just a little bit. It's a lot brighter than what I intended it to be, but I will eventually fix it. I just thought I'd let y'all know that I do know that the lighting is a bit off. So moving on to our concealer, I'm taking the Juvias Place I Am Magic in 18, and I'm just applying that in the inner corners and the outer corner as if we're like gonna cut the wing area. And then I also place it on the cupid's bow just a little bit, on my chin, a little bit under the mouth, and then on my nose, and of course my forehead area and down the bridge as well. I do let the concealer dry down just a little bit just because I feel like it gives it a lot more coverage when it does dry down just a little bit. Right now we are going in with a concealer brush, and I'm just taking the same concealer and I'm just going to be carving out our brows just because I don't know why I didn't do it in the beginning, which I always do, but this time I actually didn't. So we're just actually going to be doing that, and also prepping our eyelids with that same concealer just so it's prepped and ready for our eyeshadow. So now that we're done carving out our brows and setting our eyelids, I'm just going to be taking that E.L.F sponge and I'm just going to be blending out the highlight that we had placed down earlier. And this is where I realized that the lighting was a bit too bright, so I'm just fixing that up for y'all. Also, I like how we're like 5 minutes into the video and I didn't even tell y'all the type of look that we are going for today. But anyway, the look we're going for today is like our updated everyday makeup routine. So yeah, just in case y'all were wondering, that's what we're doing. So moving on to our cream contour, I actually forgot that I have a foundation shade in the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation that is darker, which will work perfectly for our contour shade. So yeah, we're just using I think it was Deep 71 Warm, and we're just blending that out with our, of course, the E.L.F. Beauty Sponge. And I am using the rounder side, or like the booty side of that beauty blender, just to blend everything all together. And I will also be taking like the pointier side and just be blending both the contour shade and the highlight shade, just so that there's not any harsh lines. You know how I feel about my harsh lines, we don't like those. So yeah, we just like to blending is key for my makeup routine. So yeah. So for our nose contour, I'm actually going to be taking this large angled eyeshadow brush by Luxie, and we're just going to be using that to place our cream contour for our nose. I totally forgot that I have this brush, not even gonna lie, but honestly, I've always been looking for a brush to do my cream contour, which is why I typically just skip this step and just go straight in for the powders. But since we have this brush, we are just gonna be using it to snatch our nose and make it look like we're not breathing, you know, because that's the look that we're going for. So right here, I'm actually adding the cream contour that we had left on the brush and just winging it out on the outer corners, just because I've seen this technique used in like TikTok videos and I just wanted to try it. So this isn't part of my everyday thing because I don't do it every day, but I just wanted to try it in this video just to see if it really made a difference. Um, but right now we're actually going in and blending our contour with, of course, our E.L.F. beauty sponge. So going in with our KVD Lock-It finishing powder, I'm actually going to be using that to set the whole face. I typically like to set the whole face with this setting powder before I actually go in and bake under the eyes, just so that everything is set in place and it won't be like as cakey under the eyes. So yeah. And then I ended up forgetting to blend out that outer corner eye that we did with our contour, so I just went ahead and blended that out as well. And there was a lot of powder that came off the brush. I know I actually forgot to tap off the excess, so that's why there was so much, and it actually got on my shirt. So for our powder contour today, I'm taking the Ace Beauty Bronzed in Paradise palette, and I'm actually using the lightest shade and taking that, of course, underneath the cheekbones, and then on our forehead, on our chin, or like jawline, and then of course our nose. And we're just going to be blending that upward and then in circular motions. And once I'm done placing down the contour and blending everything out, I take my Luxie Beauty Blender. I specifically use this Beauty Blender for baking, but when I do blend out my nose contour, I don't put any setting powder on it. I just use it to blend everything out. And for our eyelids today, I'm just taking that same contour shade that we used, and I'm taking this Luxie Large Eye blending brush, and I'm just using that to place onto the crease area. And then I also like to use the second lightest shade on this Equal Tools dual-ended brush, but I take like the fluffier side and use it to darken up the crease area just so it gives it more definition. And this is typically the eye look that I always do when I'm just, you know, on the go, or, you know, just wanting to do something on the eyelids, just because I don't like to leave my eyelids blank. I like to have at least definition and like color on it. So this is just something simple that I typically do every day. And right now we're actually baking, and I do use the Look the same beauty blender for a powder, and I just use the flatter side for our nose and then angle it out by the wing area just because it's easier to get into and it just works out. And then once I'm done just placing that down, I take the pointier end and I place the setting powder underneath the eyes. A little setting powder got onto my contour area, so I'm just using that same powder brush to dust it off. And then we're going to be taking the flattened side again, and we're just going to be cleaning up our contour underneath the cheek. But I typically don't leave the contour underneath the cheek very long. I tend to wipe it off before I actually wipe off underneath the eyes, just because I don't want it to look too light. So yeah, I just wipe it off. And then I also do my nose as well. And then to clean up like the nose contour, I just take like a small blending brush and clean it up. For our eyeliner today, I'm going to be taking the E.L.F. liquid liner in the shade Charcoal, and I'm just going to be lining the top. I'm not really going to be doing like a wing or anything, just because like I feel like it makes my eye look a little bit smaller because I do have pretty big eyes, so I don't know. I might just be crazy or, just be saying this, but I feel like it does make a difference compared to having no liner at all. So yeah, we're just going to be doing that, and then moving on to our mascara. I'm taking the Tarte Big Ego in, I think, black. It doesn't really have the name on here, but we're just going to be taking that and using it for our lashes today. And I honestly only used this like mascara like a couple times, and then I stopped using it and went back to my L'Oreal Lash Paradise just because that mascara is my ride or die and I can never get away from it. So switching to this one was a huge deal for me just because I typically don't even like to switch up my makeup, but this is honestly like the same as the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It's just the formula is a bit thinner and lighter, so it doesn't really flake as much as the L'Oreal does. And I know most people don't like the Lash Paradise because of that. So if you're wanting to try something similar to L'Oreal Lash Paradise, I would recommend this one. It works just as well, and also the applicator is similar to it. It has kind of like the hourglass shape, just like your girl, we're built like an hourglass. Just playing, I'm not there yet, but we are going to get there, that's the goal. So now we're just wiping off that powder underneath our cheekbones. I know I said I don't leave it on there long, but I honestly forgot to wipe it off, so that's just what we're doing. And right here, I'm just showing you guys my lashes and how they look, getting up close and personal. And they look pretty bomb, not even gonna lie. And now we're just gonna be dusting off that powder underneath the eyes and our nose, and I typically like to tap it in before I actually go in and wipe it, just so that it doesn't really mess up anything. Don't want to risk it and just completely just go in and dust it off. So yeah, I just like to pat it in before I swipe. And for our blush today, I'm actually going to be taking the Ace Beauty Scarlet Dusk palette, and I'm just going to be taking that pink shade in the palette, and we're just going to be placing that on the higher parts of the cheekbones. I don't like to apply it to the apples of the cheek just because, it doesn't give me that lifted effect, so yeah. And then we also placed a little bit over the nose, like just the excess powder, just because I don't want it to be too, vibrant. And then we're just going to be placing that on the forehead as well, just a little bit, a little goes a long way, not even gonna lie. This palette is very pigmented, as you can see, so I'm just kind of toning it down with the excess powder on the brush. For our highlight today, I'm going to be taking this E.L.F. Cosmetics Baked Highlighter. But before we actually go in and place down that highlighter shade, I like to go in with a setting spray just to enhance the highlight a lot more and give it that more glowy effect. So yes, we're using the Morphe matte setting spray. Honestly, don't like the setting spray. It makes my face look super cakey or my makeup look super cakey, and it separates my makeup as well. Like, when I'm blending it, you can kind of see the powders kind of separating from each other. So I think I'm just going to be sticking to my NYX matte finish setting spray because that one honestly works like a dream. So yeah. Finish off the eyes, I'm going to be taking that same mascara we use and I'm just going to be adding it to the bottom lashes, and then I'm also going to be taking my eyelash curler and I'm just going to be curling the top lashes as well, just to give it more of a lifted, voluminous look, you know? So for our lips today, I'm actually going to be taking the NYX lip liner in Espresso, and I'm just going to be overlining both the top and bottom lips. Once I'm done lining my lips, I like to go in with my finger and just blend everything out. And then I will be taking my Gerard Cosmetics in the shade Nude, and we're just going to be using that in the center of the lips. Alright y'all, this is the final and completed look. Your girl just threw her hair up in a half up, half down ponytail and curled it just a little bit. I don't think I mentioned this, but your girl is back to blonde, you know, looking flyer than ever. Feeling myself. Ooh, yeah, look at you, girl. Okay. Okay, stunt. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe. Like this video, give it a big thumbs up for me because look at that look. Yes, yes, it's a natural everyday type of look thing. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Bye.